en un lugar de La Mancha, de cuyo nombre no quiero acordarme.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good
Aujourd'hui,
fortune
maman est
must-
morte. Ou peut-être hier, je ne sais pas.
Welcome to the Spoken World podcast. I'm Christopher Kenneally. In the closing days of 2025, we're reviewing our coverage of the global audiobook industry throughout the year. The Spoken World debuted in March at the London Book Fair. In our first season, we featured interviews and panel discussions from the U.S. Book Show in New York, the Frankfurt Book Fair, and the Parix Audio Day Conference in Madrid. Far and away, the hottest topic in audiobook publishing in 2025 is artificial intelligence. Publishers and producers everywhere are preparing for significant change, led by an ever-expanding array of AI-driven tools, especially AI narration and translation. At Frankfurt Book Fair, Audible's Barbara Knaber told me why she views AI as a major opportunity and a manageable challenge.
It's a big topic. I think it's one of the biggest one here in this book fair, and then for sure as well for us. I would say it's a big opportunity and as well in a certain degree a challenge we have to manage. And it's on us as well to go through it, to deal with it, to make the best out of it. For us, we know as well that there's only really a very small portion of titles of ebooks available in audio. It's less than 3% of the ebooks are as well available in audiobook. So there are still a big number, a big volume of titles which could potentially be an audiobook where we could potentially use as well AI narrations. But nevertheless, it's not a neither nor. It's an and option to go into managed TTS or managed text-to-speech, managed AI narration, self-service productions. We also want to offer translation opportunities. What's important to us in terms of our customers' transparency is key. We have to label very clearly when we talk here about an AI narration or not.
Dr. Anke Suzanne Hoffman with Penguin Random House explained for the same Frankfurt studio audience her view of AI as an extension of long-standing industry practices.
I think for us in audio, the talk about AI, it's nothing that makes us extremely nervous because audio has always been an innovative format and AI is just another innovation, but an important one. And for us at PRH, it's clear that also in my opinion, publishing has always been a human-centric business, and I believe it will be one in the future as well. And for us, it's about how can these new innovative techniques enable our creatives? So what can we do with AI to give them more room to do what only a human can do, so to say. That doesn't mean that AI is only a threat, but it's important that we focus on the advantages, meaning like in pre or post production, that you can be more efficient on the process side, or that you can just create more space for the creative part, because I think it's important, and it will be important that any audio production will have a connection to the listener. And yeah, I only can strongly agree on that. We have, as a publisher and through the whole chain, the responsibility to make very clear towards our customers what they are buying, meaning to enable them to make an informed decision. And that's all about labeling.
Audiobook publishers recognize that audiences will expect transparency with AI-narrated titles. At the start of 2025, the Audio Publishers Association in the U.S. and the Audio Publishers Group in the U.K. released uniform labeling guidelines to allow for informed consumer choice. John Watt with the UK Publishers Association and Bonnier Books told me that a lack of information rather than AI itself is the primary source of concern for audiences. We spoke at the Parix Audio Day Conference in Madrid in February.
We have no information at the moment for the consumer, and so it is about informed choice. They must be able to make a choice. And in fact, for us publishers, we need that feedback from the consumer before we can really make judgments on this. So let's say there starts to be more AI-narrated products in the market, but the consumer feels that, they're okay, but they're not as good as human-narrated, but I'd be willing to pay a bit less for them. This has been said before, I think, but the consumer leads us very much. You can only lead them so far, and we must listen to the consumer. So the first thing is labeling, and then we listen.
Have you heard from authors about all of this? Are they concerned about this issue?
I think all the stakeholders, so I think authors, agents have all got a huge interest in this. Involving the agent and the author is important in these decisions because, again, it's about everybody being informed. And I think it's the lack of information that breeds concern more than anything. And it's only by having discussions like we had in this group to establish these guidelines that we can really start to have an open discussion around whether we want this or not.
Audiobook industry leaders agree that high-quality production levels are crucial, especially if audiobook markets are to continue to grow. Amanda DeCiano is president, Penguin Random House Audio Global. At Parix Audio Day in Madrid, she told me how ongoing infrastructure investment at PRH contributes to customer acquisition and retention.
Capturing photos from the studio, videos from the studio, conversations with authors, conversations with actors, all of that is so important in how we promote and market our books. So owning our own studios, not only, it saves a lot of money to own our own studios, but it also gives us the freedom to go in and really explore those opportunities. We have big spaces that can accommodate a full cast.
But quality is a piece of that,
yes.
Right?
Audiobooks are new for so many people, and they have to be good. If you come into the audiobook universe as a first-time listener and you don't like the book that you've listened to, you don't say, it's not that book, I'll try something else. The consumer closes the door and says, that's it, audiobooks are not for me. No consumer ever says that with print books. They don't pick up a print book that they don't like and say, reading is not for me. They don't go to the theater and see a movie they don't like and say, no more movies in my life, ever. But with audiobooks, we have one opportunity to grab them. And if that audiobook is great, we all know that power of a great story, they will come back. They will keep listening.
Rather than competing as formats, audiobooks and podcasts are converging into a broader ecosystem of premium audio storytelling. At the London Book Fair, Lisa Higginson with Audible told me that high-end podcast production now mirrors audiobooks for scripting, sound design, and narrative ambition. Working with the partners you have, publishers, authors, production outfits, how important are those distinctions for them? Do they come to you with a podcast project? Do you go to them looking for a particular podcast project, or as the project develops, do you decide which is the better format?
A lot of the time we work with people who have a great idea. And that then we shape into sort of various different ways. We're working on one at the moment, which is a sci-fi and fantasy series, which is hugely expensive to make in a traditional TV and film format. And what audio offers is something much more flexible. We can put incredible Dolby Atmos sound design behind it. We can put Foley. We can put huge soundscaped music behind this, as well as sound design, and create an immersive world for this project. Equally, we have things like factual series that we shape to be much more narrative. So we're looking at our sort of long-form factual, say, investigative series in a way that we think of them much more now in line with kind of HBO or Netflix documentaries rather than what you would see as a traditional true crime podcast, because we're investing heavily in the storyboarding of that series. We're investing in scripting of that series in a way that when podcasts first started, it was very grassroots and it was very sort of one person and a microphone. So we are taking it the other way as well, where we're trying to pull content towards that kind of quality bar you would see in traditional TV and film. So I think, when anyone brings us a project, be it an agent, be it a production company, or the talent themselves, we will work with them on how we can create the best piece of content in the best medium.
Listeners have long overlooked any lines separating audiobooks and podcasts, and now publishers are joining them. In Frankfurt, Lasse Kosselman Horner with Saga Egmont admitted he lumps podcasts with nonfiction audiobooks. And in that way, he sees greater potential for market growth.
I've never understood the difference between a podcast and an audiobook, basically. And nobody, I think, has really been able to explain it. We regard podcasts as non-fiction books, communicate in a different way than an ordinary book, and then audiobooks mainly for fiction and entertainment. So in that sense, podcasts is a great new thing, but basically it's just enlarging the possibilities of non-fiction you can do and tell in an engaging way to consumers. And we're very happy that many of the retailers are now also including podcasts in their offering, not only audiobooks, because the two formats belong together.
Audiobooks have changed the game in publishing, and now there's a podcast that covers the audio revolution sweeping through the global book business. Thanks for joining me throughout the year on The Spoken World. I'm Christopher Kenneally. Our producer is Jeremy Brisky. Rob Simon with Burst Marketing is our executive producer. Best wishes for 2026.